What we have here is a control system. Abner spent all his life working on it. This is the control box here. This is the inside of it. And there are all kinds of interesting little things in here. There's a board-on tube which measures pressure. There is an expansion tube. As the steam gets hotter and hotter, it expands a rod that goes in and out. And so you are turning on fans, and you're turning on electrical micro switches. You're turning on bypass solenoids which control the water flow into the boiler. And that's what this is. You've got this aluminum box with this on the inside. You have a long rod going crosswise, iron rod about a 1/4 inch diameter, that measures the final steam temperature. And you want to keep it below about 800, 850 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason is if it's too hot, then you cannot put lubricating oil in the steam. Because if it's too hot, the oil will then get charred and burn, and it will not have any lubrication properties left over. And so how this works is when you get too much pressure or too high enough pressure, when you get up to close to 1,000 psi, which is working pressure, the burner turns off. You turn off the flame. When steam gets too hot, you turn on the water pump and you pump water in, and that cools everything down. And by balancing the temperature of the steam, the pressure of the steam, you will then have it controllable. The boiler will not burn out. You will have the correct temperature and the correct pressure of the steam, and then it's possible to keep going. The driver has a throttle which controls the amount of steam that goes into the engine, and that's all he has to do. He turns the switch to turn the burner on. Everything else is automatic. Water pumps, solenoids, bypass, fans, condensers, everything is all automatic. And all you have to do is have a throttle. In Abner's case, it was a hand throttle. It can be easily hooked up to an accelerator pedal on the floor so that it looks just exactly like a regular car. And then you just drive it. And that's all there is to it. It's essentially quiet. There's a slight rumble from the nearly 1,000,000 BTU per hour burner. And that's about all that you hear. The steam, you don't hear the steam escaping, because when the steam is done going through the pistons in the cylinders, it then goes to the big radiator, which is a condenser up in front, gets turned back into water. You can go several hundred miles before enough steam leaks out that you need to add a few more gallons of water, and then you can keep going again. Or you can have a 5 or 10 gallon water tank, and then you can drive all day long in your car. So that's about all you need to know. Well, there's a lot more that you can know about steam cars, and it goes on forever and ever. But this is a good start. Shows you what can be done by a person with a vision and inherited money. To recap what we are trying to do, we're trying to sell books. We have quite a few of these printed up. It is basically the one opportunity to have the definitive books on the Doble steam car. We are going to be printing in the next couple of years at least 3 more just regular books, smaller format, without these beautiful photos, but with good photos of the technical aspects of the Doble steam car. We're going to go into more of the history of Abner Doble and his family. Started with a grandfather working out in California, designing improvements to the Pelton water wheel, and going on up to after Doble got done with the steam car business. It was taken over by Bill Bessler. who designed a number of interesting things, including flying an airplane that Abner Doble had started working on the engine and boiler of, and Bessler put it together and flew it, which is, I believe, the only steam-powered airplane that is really flown. Easy enough to do. And, well, it may not be easy enough to do because very few other people have done it. Steam is interesting. You can burn any kind of fuel that you can find that will burn, any source of heat. If you burn for stationary power, you can burn biofuels, which are carbon neutral. In other words, wood chips. It's just a very interesting subject. There are people continuously, not very many, but a few people continuously working on improvements in steam, refinements, and there are a lot of little things that can be done to make it more practical, to keep working on it. The steam power in and of itself is quiet. It is smooth. It is something that a sensation you're not going to get in any other vehicle. So that's the story of the steam cars, some story, and it's also the story of Abner Doble and his work on steam cars.